All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back into the kitchen. What we have today is we're going to be brining both of our turkey breasts and tenders from yesterday's bird that I was able to take. So what we're going to be working on now is a simple brine. Don't be afraid of brines. They can be very simple. All we're doing is looking to get some moisture and some flavor into the meat that we're brining. Brines are very simple. You can put whatever you want to in them. Have fun, play with them. So we're going to be doing two separate brines today, just to get a different flavor profile on both halves. The first brine that we're going to be doing, as you can see, we're going to be using a lot of citrus into this. Citrus pairs extremely well with poultry and turkey. So since we're only going to be doing half of the bird, one breast and one tender, we're going to need to pare back how much brine we're making. So we're going to put everything into a large saucepan because we need to boil our brine to get everything dissolved. So we're going to take about a half gallon of water. And in a brine, we need a lot of salt. So typically if you use a gallon of water, you're going to use a cup of salt. So we got a half a gallon of water, so we have a half cup of just regular table salt. You can use kosher coarse salt if you like, just increase your amount. It should be about a cup and a quarter of coarse kosher salt, just because of the finer crystals. So cut that back a little bit if you're going to use regular table salt, which we are today. I have juice from approximately 1 lime. We're going to go ahead and pour that in there. Good bit of orange juice. I love the orange juice. I love the flavor profile that orange juice provides into poultry. We're going to have 1 lemon. We're going to go ahead and prep that. Roll it around. Go ahead and get that broken up a little bit inside of there. You can go ahead and cut that on through. Take our juicer. Juice from our lemon down inside of there. Another flavor profile that I love is ginger. So I got a ginger root the other day at the grocery store. I cut off about an inch of it, peeled the skin. You can just use a regular teaspoon for that. It's very easy to peel ginger if you've never done it before. I sliced it and then I took the same spoon and just crushed it down a little bit here on the cutting board, so you guys can see. I'm gonna love the flavor profile that ginger provides. So we're gonna dump that in there. We have about a tablespoon of black pepper. I'm gonna toss that in. And then we have about a quarter cup of brown sugar. We're gonna need a little bit of sweet in there. Turkey handles sweet very well, so get that into there. And now all we need to do is bring this to a boil. Help all those, the salt, the sugar, dissolve properly. So we're going to bring this to a boil and then we're going to cool it back down. Once it's cooled, we're going to go ahead and put it inside. We can either use an airtight container. I'm just going to use some freezer safe Ziploc bags today. We're going to brine it for approximately 5 hours and then we're going to go out and drop it onto the smoker. So let me go ahead and get this one on the stove. We're going to go ahead and bring this to a boil, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys. So while the other brine is cooling, we're going to go ahead and start working on the brine for the second turkey breast. So we're going to add our water. This one here is really simple. This is more of a sweeter brine that we're going to be working on because we're going to be doing a honey glazed turkey breast off the smoker. So we're going to add our salt to our water. Not as much salt this time. Again, since we're doing a honey glaze, you want a little bit sweeter of a profile. So we have a little bit more brown sugar in this particular brine than the last one. And now, our honey. We still want the flavor of the honey, but we're not going to use a lot in the brine, just because the brine is more to get some flavor deeper inside of the turkey and not necessarily you don't have as strong of flavor profiles from a brine as you would from a rub or a glaze or something of that nature. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this one over to the stove. We're gonna get this boiled, let it cool down, and then we're gonna go ahead and get them into the freezer bags to go ahead and brine for the next 4-5 hours or so. Now that we have our brines boiled and sufficiently cooled down, we're gonna go ahead and get those into our gallon bags of turkey. One of the little hacks that I like to do, I like to take my bag and sit it down inside of the gallon pitcher. It's just a whole lot easier and a whole lot more convenient to hold that bag of turkey up, or whatever you're brining. If you're doing chicken pieces, whatever, it'll hold the bag up nice for you. So all we're gonna do is take our ladle, and since we do have spices and ginger, I wanna make sure I get a good amount of those in here as well. And we're just gonna go ahead and fill up our bag sufficiently. I'll probably end up making way too much brine for just one breast, but it's okay. It's not like we're using a whole lot of products anyway. Again, every once in a while, just give it a stir, get all that stuff stirred up back in there. Get some pieces of ginger in there. Like I said, it's really nice having that gallon container. That way it's easy to hold the bag up. You don't have to have a second hand come and help you if you're using a bag. If you're using a container, it really doesn't much matter. All you're gonna do is pour it straight in and put your lid on it. The bags were convenient. Once I cleaned the bird yesterday, I was able to just put them in the bag, put them in the refrigerator for today's video. So it's just convenient. All right. Pull that out and see what we got. Plenty of liquid in that. Give that a seal and try and get as much of the air out as I can. Not spilling it all over the counter. Perfect. There we go. So now that one's done. So that one's going to be ready to go back into the fridge here in a minute. Now I'm just going to pour this one since there's no spice, no solids or anything in this one. I'm just going to pour straight into the bag. Looks like a nice little tea going on in that one. All right, guys, that's all there is for right now. Just need to let those brines sit in there and get happy with the turkey. And then about 5 hours, we're gonna pull them out. Throw them onto the smoker. We're gonna be smoking over hickory wood today. And they shouldn't take too long since they're just boneless breasts. We only had to take them to 165. So we'll be back in a little bit. Go ahead and make our glaze for a honey glazed turkey breast. So just remember, since we're only going one of the halves of the turkey, we just need to make a little bit of a glaze. We don't need a whole lot. So we're going to start with a half a stick of butter. Get that into the pan, let that melt down. And to that, once it's all melted, I have about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And get that incorporated in. All right, so now we've let that melt down and reduce a little bit. Remember, all we have in here right now is our brown sugar and our butter. So we're gonna go ahead and get our honey in. And once again, this is from a local apiary here in Smithsburg in Washington County. About 3 teaspoons of honey into this glaze. turn our heat down a little bit. We were on medium to medium high. Now we just want to let this simmer, let all the flavors come together. And let that simmer down and reduce just a little bit. And again, once it's ready, once this, it's time for the glaze on the turkey, on the smoker. Now our glaze is ready for once we finally get to that step. So the breasts have already come out of the brine. I have them both sitting in some baking dishes here. Just want to point out one thing. For those that have never had ceviche before, you're cooking with acid. So that's why the turkey breast on this one that we had our lime juice, our lemon juice, and our orange juice in, that's why it looks a little white on the top. All the spots here, that's some of our herbs and spices on there. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get them out. And one of the things that you have to do with brined meat, whether you're brining turkey, chicken, fish, no matter what it is, if you're going on the smoker with it, you have to pat it dry. If you don't pat it dry, excuse me, the smoke will not adhere. So that's one of the things we definitely have to get done. Okay. So we got our paper towels. Again, all we just need to do is pat it dry. Get that extra moisture off of there. You do not want to rinse it off though. If you rinse it off, all the goodness that we've just worked for the last 4-5 hours or so is gone. So again, we're just patting it dry just to get the extra moisture off. Don't be afraid to use a bunch of towels. A little bit of prep here is going to make some good eats later on. All right. So on the honey brined breast, that's just going to go on just like it is. I will dry that one. I'm going to put one of my favorite rubs on the citrus breast. Two of my favorite rubs on the market, if you want to look them up, Sweet Swine of Mine and a rub called the Barbecue Rub. You can find those at most of your barbecue supply houses and online. So just give it a nice, generous coating of your barbecue rub. Give that a gentle pat, get that spice worked in there, that rub worked in there. And we're just gonna let that set for probably 10 minutes so it starts tacking up before we go put it on a smoker. We'll see you outside the smoker. Hey guys, we're out at the smoker now. Go ahead and put our turkey on. To get that one first, so I didn't grab any of the rub from the other breast and cross-contaminate onto the honey. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of a rub and touch back up where our tongs have hit on the breast. So I'm smoking at 325 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and insert our temperature probe into the meaty portion of the breast. It's about halfway through. We want to take our internal temperature to 165 degrees on the turkey, just because we are using boneless cuts here. So once we hit 165, we'll go ahead and come on out and go ahead and get these pulled off the smoker. Can't wait. All right, so as you can see, we got the 2 turkey breasts back in off the smoker. Here we have our honey glazed breast. And here we have the citrus brined breast that we have our barbecue rub on. So we're gonna go ahead and move these over here to the cutting board. Oh, juice coming out of that one. The ends are just a little bit tougher because of being on the smoker, but it's still good stuff. What you get in off of that. Nice smoke ring. You can see the smoke ring coming around. Try a bite of that real quick. That's good. That's real good. Has a flavor of the honey brine all the way through the meat. You're not just not getting the glaze on the outside. That's good stuff. Use a different set of tongs to bring the citrus rubbed. It's so interesting to be able to taste both of them back to back. Your flavor profiles are completely different. Here we have a nice sweet. Here we have the savory. A little bit of bite, a little bit of heat in there. Both of them are very good. I would highly recommend you guys to try this. Again, if you're not hunters, you have your local butcher, your local produce guy. Go see him. Get yourself some turkey breast. Try this. Don't be afraid to use your smoker. Smoker can be your friend. Add a completely different new element to your cooking. Renee made a beautiful garlic and cheese mac and cheese with some local sharp cheddar from our local farmers market. Beautiful pairing with our smoked turkey breast. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your love. If you can do us a favor, make sure you like this video. It helps YouTube suggest this video to other followers. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep it wild.